Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Silver Rudder. Next to me is Max Gürgel from Germany. Some of you may recognize him from the Silver Rudder. He stood on the stage winning the first Silver Rudder, the first place in the Silver Rudder. How many times, Max?
2 times. And I think the first time was 2022, I think. Yeah.
And what boats did you race and win the Silver Rudder in?
Only the Dela 30. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So 2020 was my first year here. That was the year where it was super light.
Yeah,
And
very light winds.
Very light wind, and I ran aground 3 times. First time was directly here in the Svendborg Sound, directly after the first corner, where the shallow area is coming in. And yeah, I was lying there for like an hour or so.
Depressing.
Was horrible.
Max, I'm just going to interrupt you because only 3 minutes and 40 seconds till the start.
Sure.
And we'll do plenty of chatting about your participation, your contribution.
Yes.
Max has been very heavily involved in the design of the new X-Yacht XR41 Race R. And we're going to talk about that. And I know a lot of seers out there are interested to hear about that. But in the meantime, let's talk about the boats we can see in front of us. Now, this is the medium start. Now, there are 115 boats on the starting line on this start, which, you know, I remember you and I have raced against each other at the ORC World Championships last year. And, you know, in the serious starts, you had like maybe 30 or 40 boats.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is times 3.
Yeah.
Times 4 perhaps even. So this is quite an achievement to have this many boats on the start.
Absolutely.
And let's talk about some of the boats you can see. The boat there.
I see the JPK with the Masto on the side.
There you go, yeah.
The
JPK 1030.
Yeah, exactly. I've sailed against this
That's
boat
Anders Johansson, yeah.
Right. I sailed against him quite a few times when I was sailing on Lightworks with Michael Höfgen. Lightworks is also here now.
Yes.
With another owner.
What boat? Yeah, the Lightworks.
The Lightworks is also still sailing, the old one. And Michael Höfgen. Yeah. Michael Höfgen is now here with an Arcona 385.
Yeah, which is a good boat, but not compared to the Lightworks 1030 with Bart on it.
Yeah.
Bart used to have a Figaro 3 or Figaro 2 that he raced very successfully here.
Yeah.
He's a contender, isn't he?
Yeah.
He says he's in cruising mode because he has his double-handed partners set clothes on board.
Okay.
And what about this boat right in front of us here, the Norwegian
That's a Jeannot.
If you pan right a little bit.
Yeah.
If you pan right a little bit.
I've sailed against this boat also quite often. That was also a contender in the double-handed World Championship on the Round Gotland race.
So,
and actually,
what type of boat it is?
It is quite. Yeah, it's a Jeannot. I don't know exactly.
3300.
So, yeah.
Sunfast 3300.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a very fast boat, actually. I mean, in the first part of the Round Gotland race, when we sailed out of the archipelago, we matched their speed. It was.
I think he just went aground, actually.
Maybe. It's very shallow here.
And he went aground last year in the same spot.
I think the strategy in principle is correct. I would do it the same, to wait here on the left side to windward, but of course not this far up. Now he should maybe get a head sail up to get his boat tacking.
Yeah, but he's got to come free.
Yeah.
He's really got to do what he can. Yeah, like you say, set the head sail to pull the bow
to
port.
Yeah. Now he is in trouble. That was the last minute, or?
That was 1 minute to the start. Yeah, he's in real trouble there.
He is in trouble.
Let's talk about some of the other boats there.
Yeah.
Look at the picture on the screen here.
Yeah. I see in the very middle. I see I see the wooden boat.
Yeah. Which boat's that?
Very cool boat. It's called Emmy, I think.
Yeah. Yes, it is indeed. Yeah. Which is a
very. Yeah, it's a one-off. He built the boat on his own. And it's a very cool boat. And he's a very good sailor also.
Let's look at the screen here. I mean, this is some of the boats you can see just starting up here, right in front of us. It looks like 3 boats.
Yeah, they run aground and they are really in trouble now, because they should tack onto port. They should tack onto port tack, but they cannot because the others are blocking.
Yeah, well, they can't even come around the other side. And those boats that are setting their head sails may be able to sail free, but
that's
the very
big mess. Big mess.
Fleming, I'd very much like the camera onto the boats. Onto mass camera.
Yeah.
A massive.
So a few boats in the middle got a really good start. I see a the French sail number there, right in the middle.
Which boat is this on the left here? Can you see this? Is that an Ashenboat A35? No, it isn't, is it?
I cannot see, but it was a very, very good start. Nice start to windward. He is now on the outside of the fjord, so where he has most current.
Can you see? And looking at the boats across the water, you've got X99s there. You've got a bit of chaos there, right by the starting line here. See, these boats are trying to push themselves free of the ground here.
Yeah.
Fleming, I'd very much like the camera down here on Mass's camera, please. There you go. What you see here is the view right in front of us. Unfortunately, these boats here are way up to windward and have gone aground before the start has even gone, which is awful because they just don't have a chance of.
And also they are being pushed on the shore by the current also.
So the current should be sort of drifting them out a bit, but unfortunately, it's a very, very unfortunate view. If we go back to the drone there, Fleming, if it's there, lovely. Look at the view here on the drone picture here, Max.
Yeah.
You can see there's 131 boats leaving the sound there, and the boats that did the right move by starting to windward have really, really benefited from not having to tack. A couple of the boats there that were hesitant have had to tack out.
Yeah. So basically, the middle left was favored massively. You shouldn't be too far left because then you run aground. But like
top third of the course.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Of course, being in the top third of the course, you get free air
also
all the way down, and you get to bear away faster than the others. Can you see the X35 coming on the starboard, forcing the other red boat there, which is a Matcher 31, onto a starboard just clearing it there.
Actually, the X35 went way too far. He could have tacked a lot earlier.
Yes, he could indeed. Let's look at the screen here. This is the shot from our drone. So like 131 boats, all starting simultaneously, and we can't actually see it on the screen ahead of us. But it looks like the first boats that have run aground there are starting to come free now.
Yes,
they're starting to clear the line.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I can see that the guy in front of us, there's Muir Scheufens, and his Dynamic 35 is just gone around. And the picture in front of us here on the screen is X99, lovely pictures.
Yeah.
German boat 535.
Yeah, I see the boats in the middle are really stretching out nicely because they are in the center of the current. And if they also have clean air, then they can really stretch out nicely.
Is that where you'd start, Max? You know, you said you start in the top third up here.
Yeah.
And where would you place yourself in order to get the greatest benefit from the current?
Right in the middle, actually, between the buoys, in the fairway, basically. Yeah? So there's where the water is deep. You have the strongest current, and also the current always takes the outside turn. So on the outside of the turn, the current is always a lot stronger. And also in this case, outside also means that you are windward to the others. So this would be my strategy.
Your tactics, your strategy. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Stay in the deep water.
Yeah.
Deep water flushes in deep water. The boats get flushed through.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. This is an interesting boat. That the blue one in front of us. We're not on that. Let's look at this picture here on the screen. This is Piers Van Beer in Kwai. Pier is a 2 meter huge. The silver rudder's Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's a Far East 31. Now, even though it's a 31-foot boat in a boat with up to 35-foot boats, he's definitely a contender.
Yeah.
To be at the front of the fleet, or for one of the first boats to arrive tomorrow morning. He's an excellent sailor, strong as an ox, and has got the boat to do it. Now, if he gets a little bit of slack of his sheets going on the east coast of Funen with a big masthead A3 or A2, he'll be roaring along. We'll give him hope to see him. He was here a couple of years ago, and really, really unfortunately, he actually broke one of his spreaders as he was tightening his rig. So he didn't even get to start, and he drove all the way from Stockholm with his boat with us. So, but going back to the picture on the screen there, what you've got is the drone picture with, that's the head of the medium start with 115 boats in it.
Yeah, and you can see that all these boats are keeping quite in the center of the Svendborg Sound, between the buoys where it's most deep and where you have the strongest current. And now it's all about finding a nice lane where you have clean air, and then just go for full speed traveler nicely to leeward.
We're going to move the camera over to Mess. Mess, if you just go a little bit to the left, you can see a lot of the boats are starting to tack. They have these are the boats that are tacking, and the boats that have started a little bit too far down to leeward. So on the right hand or southern end of the course, which is okay, but they're using a lot of space and energy having to tack because the wind hasn't actually veered, but they decided to start so far down the line that they've been forced to budge up through the rest of the fleet. In fact, forcing other boats on a port tack to have to give way to them, so it sort of has a domino effect. So far, I haven't seen any collisions or any very close quarter situations, which is lovely. Last year we had a couple of boats that touched each other, so it's nice if we can get a clean start without too much trouble. Lovely. And we're back on the water there with Johan here. Johan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine, Philip. Do you hear me?
Perfect. Absolutely. Perfect picture. Could you tell us a little bit about what you hear and see?
Actually, out the bat, and when it was close reach, there was quite a lot of gust, but as we entered the sound, the space between Tosing and Tuber, it's the same story again. The wind has dropped a little bit, and you see that before they were struggling, and now the sailors are just doing the champagne sailing. If we look at this J100 here, this guy is just really enjoying himself.
I can imagine.
But still staying razor sharp, really focused, because it is the small differences here. You know that when you usually sail here, that you can win and lose in this space right here. So you can easily win a boat length or drop it if you're not focused. So I see focused sailors all around, that's for sure.
So are you towards the end of the fleet, or whereabouts are you?
We're towards the front of the fleet at the moment. I'd say we have a good 15 boats in front of us. We can just get Petra to film it here as well. Yeah, you have a nice drone shot there, and it's a magnificent view down through the fleet. 115 boats. A little bit of a chaotic start from our point of view as well, but it seems that most of them has gotten away nicely now, and now it's just all the way around Funen.
Unfortunately, we have. You continue.
I see quite a lot of X99s in this start as well. Do you remember how many we have starting this year?
We have 15 X99 starting this year.
So that's also a race within a race almost.
Oh,
that's very exciting to see.
Absolutely, it's amazing to see so many one-design boats at the same start. I mean, that in itself is just a huge sign of success that we enjoy here. Now, who's this X99 that you're following? It's a green one, isn't it? Yeah.
The one we're following at the moment. Let's try to follow this boat. This is a Danish gentleman.
That's Søren Schön. He's from Fåborg. Yeah, he's from Fåborg. He's a local guy. You can go up alongside him and say hi.
Yeah, we'll go up alongside him.
He knows these waters very well, and it's a local guy. He knows exactly what he's doing. And he's raced a silver rod. I think this is third or fourth time. He's had that boat quite some time now.
Yeah, we also see he's quite relaxed about it, having cigarettes, sailing, enjoying his day. That's very nice.
And he's what head sail is he carrying, Johan?
Yeah, I would say he's using the Genera right now, and it's going quite good for him.
What's the boat just ahead of him on his starboard side?
That would definitely be the sail to pick at the moment.
What's the boat just ahead of him on the starboard side?
Yeah, we'll sail a little bit closer.
I said, what's the boat just ahead of him on the starboard side?
Oh, the boat just ahead of him on starboard side is also an X-Shark. That's an X332.
Magnificent boat as well. It's going to be interesting to see how that fares.
Yeah.
But actually the boats, yes, as you know also, the wind shifts quite a bit here. So one minute they're very close reached, and the next minute it's more of a long reach. So it's changing all the time for the guys here. They have to adjust the sails all the time as they go through here, because the wind is changing direction and force at all times here.
Yeah, it's quite gusty, isn't it? We can tell that some of the boats are having to tack here, and some of the other boats, you know, are slacking on sheets a bit, getting a bit more speed as they go down the sound. Great.
Yeah, see, the first boats in the medium class, if we try to film that, is just gone around now and are sailing out of the sound and are definitely actually able to bear it on the port tack. It doesn't look like they have to tack, which is very nice for them. If they stay to leeward, I guess some of the people are having some trouble. Some of the contestants, if they start too far to leeward, they'll have to tack.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay, Flemming, thanks a lot. Let's just move us back to Mads, the camera. I'd like to film what's going on here at the starting line. Mads, I'd like you to film down on Ola Petter, who's unfortunately has gone aground just in front of the starting line now. Unfortunately, Ola Petter actually sailed all the way down from Norway, and last year he did pretty much the same, went aground, and he's a very experienced sailor. I must say that perhaps we've put the yellow windward mark a bit too far, a bit too close to land, because I'm a bit really concerned at the thought of the big boats when they come in here. They can't just roll their boats off like some of these boats have. At the moment, he's rolling his boat to and fro from side to side to try and deepen the mud or the sand that he's got below the keel in order to free the boat. It's a good tactic, and it sort of tells a little bit about how an experienced sailor he is. Some people would just start their engines in reverse, but when you've sailed, you know, several hundred miles to get here, you don't just quit. If you just zoom out of it, pan out a bit, and look at some of the boats that are lining up in the large class. In the meantime, I'd like to talk to Max next to me. Max, you've been involved in the design of the new X yacht, the XR41. Tell us about your involvement.
Yeah, so basically the job was to come up with a design that is fun to sail, that is quick, but also that performs very strong in ORC. And so, yeah, myself and also my colleague Kasper Nielsen, we came into the team to kind of take care of the ORC part of it. And yeah, we developed a workflow and optimization scheme to come up with a hull shape that is a lot that makes a lot fun to sail, but is also very fast, and also of course with respect to the ORC rating. So basically, when we do ORC optimization, we always try to be fast on the water and slow on paper, meaning that we want to have a rating certificate which shows that the boat is slow on the paper. Yeah?
On paper,
yeah. And
so what parameters can a designer like yourself, what parameters can you I was going to say manipulate or use in order to ensure that a boat is slow on paper but fast on water?
Yeah. First, of course, we first focused just on the hull shape.
Yeah.
And for the hull shape, we've set up an optimization tool where we basically developed a semi-parametric geometry model. So we got a few basic hull shapes that Thomas Milek has designed, and
he'll be coming to talk to us in a few minutes.
Yeah, right. So Thomas was basically boss of the whole development team, and so we got the hull shapes from Thomas and put them into our optimizer, and we calculated thousands of variants of each of these hull shapes. And of course, we generated all the ORC certificates, and then we had a huge list, like for all of these basic hull shapes. We had huge Excel files with thousands of variations of these hulls, and calculated the ORC ratings, and then we could kind of decide which way to go. And then the very complicated task was basically to filter out the most promising hull shapes, for which we also wanted to do the CFD simulations.
Sure.
Yeah, because generating a hull shape and doing the ORC certificate, that was actually quite quick job. I think we took like 1.5 minutes for each variation. But to do the full CFD on such a boat took us like 1.5 days for
just help me and the other listeners out there. What do you mean by CFD?
CFD is computational fluid dynamics. So we basically
computing fluid dynamics, just so they know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
All right, so it's something to do with how the water flows
you basically,
by the hull.
So make a simulation, basically like a water towing test in the water tank that is done sometimes, and we simulate that on the computer. Yeah, right. And of course, this takes a lot of time compared to just generating the geometry for a hull and computing an ORC certificate. So the most interesting part was basically to make good selections of the hulls to go for the CFD for these hulls.
So if we have to talk a little bit about what that means at the end of the day, I mean, one thing is, with the high-tech stuff that the designers have to deal with, what does that mean for somebody who wants to race an XR41? I mean, what is his rating going to be like compared to other boats? Let's talk about some of the dynamics of the boat. It's 41 feet long.
Yeah.
What's the draft of the boat?
I think we are at 220.
Okay, which isn't excessive for a boat of that size, is it?
No. It's quite medium. And I always like to compare it with the classic X41. So the biggest difference is basically the sail area upwind. We have 12 to 13 square meters more sail area upwind compared
to the
to
41. And the 41 has been an evil contender on the ORC course, hasn't it?
Yeah. And then of course the XR is a lot wider. So it has a huge righting moment when it heels over.
So basically, for those of you who don't know what that means, there are two types of stability on a boat. One is the weight distributed stability, so you put a lot of weight in the bottom of the hull, and the other one is the shape of the hull. So the wider a boat is, the form stability. The more the boat heels over, the more buoyancy is produced on the leeward side, thus righting the boat up. We talk about a righting arm, just to make so the seers or the viewers, what we're talking about. Right. Oh, yeah. So this boat has a draft of 2 meters 20, 12 to 30 more square meters of upwind sail than the X41. How will it compare rating-wise? If I were to look at an ORC measurements next to the 41 measurement, you're allowed to say that?
Yes, sure. So the funny thing is that in the ORC rating, on paper, the boat is actually allowed to be slower than the X41.
Great.
Which is really, really great. That's a huge achievement from our optimization. So despite the larger sail area and the more righting moment, and we are basically also at the same displacement, and still we are allowed to be slower on paper on the upwind. Which is super interesting, and of course
which would mean that the boat, in all intents and purposes, will be faster on the water, slower on paper, which means that it gets a better rating.
Yes,
so
exactly.
It is allowed to pretend that it can sail slower.
Exactly.
So just to put it, into simple language.
And
Brilliant.
also the hull shape is quite a bit different from what we are used to see, and it will be more a planing boat. So. Because it has a lot, it's wider shape, and
So when does the boat start to plane? I know it's difficult to say because we don't know what wind angle and stuff.
Yeah. So basically, the boat starts to get faster than 10 knots at 16 knots of wind on reaching courses.
Great, sounds fast.
Yeah, so from 16 knots on, with a nice asymmetric kite or with a code 0, you should go planing on reaching courses.
Brilliant. Yeah. Sounds really good. Max, we're going to leave the studio in just a few minutes. Now the situation on the water now is that we've got the large boat starting. Yeah, that's the 35 to 40 feet. You've got some old guys we've seen there for years. Amaretto. You've got X362 Sports. You've got the Confortina 38 there. That's in fact our last Steen, the singing Silver Rudran. Did you see the films that he made? You'll Never Walk Alone film. And you've got an IMX 38. You've got Klaus Rønt in what we call Frostbox, which is a one-off built locally.
I know
very
that one, yeah.
Very fast guy, very fast boat. I mean, look how far astern that mast is set. You can't see because of the angle there. You've got Dwinger, or Jens Dwinger in his Sunfast 3600
from Kiel.
From Kiel, yeah, local. You'll know, of course. Yeah, I am there. Who's likely to cross the finishing line first in this race? Do you think?
Ooh,
is that difficult?
That is very difficult to say, because I think the first part of the race, I mean, until Middelfart probably, boats that are fast in medium wind, downwind conditions will be good.
Yes.
Meaning that you should have a large kite and
so things like Sven Kruk and his Bondi 36 and the boats, the lighter performance boats, yeah.
Yeah.
And how do you think Michael Huffman's likely to do this year in his Arcona?
It's a very heavy boat. It's a very heavy boat. He was quite lucky he got third at the double-handed worlds. In Oslo. And he was very, very happy about it. But that was an ORC race where you get your benefit from being heavy and slow, just because
on
you
paper.
are also slow on paper.
But here couldn't see your finger jetting.
Here it's just about water performance and not about paper. So I think he will just have a good race, and basically he just does it for fun here.
Sure.
Like everybody, but for him it would be very, very tricky to end up like in top three. It would not happen probably.
There's fun. There's serious fun, isn't there?
Yeah.
Max, I want to thank you very much for coming and talking to us. Thanks for enlightening us all on the progress of the XR41. Do you think they'll let you race it next year?
We will see.
That would be cool, wouldn't it?
That would be cool, yes.
You designed it, you get to race it. I'll have to talk to Krijn. Well, Max, thanks for coming to the studio. Thanks for helping us out here.
Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going offline for a few minutes, and when we come back in just 3 or 4 minutes' time, we'll be starting the 35 to 40-foot boats in absolutely magnificent sunny weather, 10, 12 knots of wind. The current's still with us. See you there.